today? I hope you're doing well. My name is Shannon and this is my YouTube channel, Whisky and Wool. You're watching one of my Knitter's Life episodes, season 5. I think it's episode 10, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful summer day. It is on the verge of being too hot. In terms of like, right now I have all the windows open, but I may soon need to close them because the humidity and heat is rising. It's right around midday. So I live in New Jersey, right outside of New York City. You probably saw a clip of the city from my side of the Hudson River. I live in a very urban setting and I love it. I love the accessibility to everything. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to catch you up on my knitting projects and some spinning. I have some exciting news in the realm of spinning to share with you. Also, Tour de Fleece is starting in 1 week. So there'll be probably not more spinning than there is, but maybe I'll be a little more intentional with my spinning. I always have something. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about my finished object. This is the MiZZoni sweater by Lindsay Degan. And I finished it last week. I didn't record last week because I had a case of pink eye. I'm still recovering from it a little bit, but the eye drops really help. So I just couldn't, you didn't want to see me like that. All weepy eyed with a bright pink eye. Anyway, I finished it last week and I'm really happy with it. It actually grew quite a bit in the blocking. I had a feeling it would. I ended up knitting it. I made a couple modifications on it. So one was the sweater, the pattern is designed to be a scrappy knit project where you use any combination of worsted or DK or holding fingering strands together and do a random color change. I used handspun yarn instead that does its own color changing. So this is all one skein. And this was actually last year's Tour de Fleece fleece color from one of them, from Inglenook Fibers. They're I believe it's a pair, two women that are nuns in a nunnery that's in Massachusetts. And they're avid yarn or fiber dyers. I have one of their colors for this year as well, and that'll be on my batch of fiber that I'm spinning in the upcoming weeks. But this particular one was organic Polworth, and yeah, what else can I tell you about it? The colorway was called Niece. Not nice, Niece. I bought 3 braids and spun them in a Fractal, 3-ply Fractal, and ended up getting this striping layout. I have a little bit left, probably a little bit more than half left of the 3rd skein. The sweater is knit in pieces, and so you knit the front, the back, sleeve 1, sleeve 2. I did cast on the sleeves right on the armhole. Well, this was a opening, so I did mattress stitch to do this whole side seam. I did 3 needle bind off at the shoulders. But I cast the sleeve stitches right onto the sleeve armhole section, and last time I may have showed you a sleeve in progress, and I ended up ripping out that sleeve in progress and starting over because it was just too big. There was just way too much fabric, and this is much better. I'll pop a picture on screen of me wearing it. I'll put it on after I'm done with this episode and filming, and make sure that you get a picture of me in it. I'm wearing an actual MiZZoni, House MiZZoni, the Italian knitwear designers that have had a major house in the fashion industry since the 60s, as far as I remember. I think it was opened by a father. I don't really know the history of it all that well, but I do know that they were a house that I turned to many times when I was a professional knitwear designer, working for a more mediocre, middle of the road, mid-range, like we sold Macy's kind of thing, house. And I was designing knit separates to go in with their much larger woven collection. But I looked at MiZZoni a lot. I looked at their styling and their color combination, and I ended up purchasing this sweater. It's a slipover, but it's got high armholes, so it's good for wearing in the summertime. But this is typical House MiZZoni patterning, where it's these zigzags with a little bit of a textured stitch. This was machine knit, not hand knit. I don't know if they do hand knits. They used to, I know. I don't know if they still do, the design house. And I assume Lindsay was inspired by that zigzag pattern and the color changing aspects to it. Mine is just black and white, but you could see how the stripes vary in width throughout the sweater. This was, I don't like knitting in pieces. Like, I just find it kind of more work than necessary. I went ahead and did it though, because I was completely inspired to knit this sweater by oh my goodness, Millie of Tribal Yarns in Scotland. She has a big internet presence on Instagram, and I always find everything that she works on so inspirational. And yeah, I like to pay close attention to the things that she's working on for herself, because she also loves I love bright colors. She loves bright colors. So I looked at what Millie did, and Millie didn't modify it from pieces, so I just copied what Millie did, to be honest. Otherwise, I probably would have knitted in the round. There really wasn't any reason. The only thing I can say is that as a knitwear designer, I have designed knitwear patterns. In fact, you're going to see one of my own patterns that I'm knitting. I haven't released any patterns in years, because it's a lot of work, and I have a full-time job that's a lot of work, so I just don't have a lot of time to... and I'm perfectly content to knit other people's patterns. But I can tell you that as a knitwear designer, it is sometimes easier to just write the pattern in pieces instead of figuring out how to manage things in the round. So yeah, I probably would have done some modifications to knit this in the round. And then my stripes would have been narrower, which I don't know if I would have minded. I mean, probably more akin to what you see in the... No, I'm wrong, because sleeves are actually wider stripes, generally, because it's a smaller circumference. I didn't bother trying to do any matching, so my back and front don't really match color-wise. It was too much. I couldn't think about that. Again, like, that would have been a problem I would not have had if I just went ahead and knit in the round. And I also didn't bother matching the two shoulders or the two sleeves. I did my best. I mean, I knew there were portions of the skein where the turquoise was, which to me is the eye-popping color in this sweater. So I tried to engineer the turquoise starting in the same spot, but everything else was just too... I didn't want to get that intense into color management. I really just wanted to enjoy the knit. So I did. It's interesting, like, it's been a year since I've spun this yarn, and I didn't really recall getting this much variation in the colors. Like, to me, when I purchased this fiber, and if I can find a picture of the fiber, I'll put it on screen so you understand what I'm talking about. When I was looking at the fiber, I was thinking that it was mostly turquoise with these contrasts, this gold color and some purple. But in the blending of the plies, I ended up with a lot of different color variations, which I really like. Like, this is a great sweater. I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of it, I think. So, what else can I tell you? What else did I do modifications wise? I did make it smaller. My gauge, I did not get her gauge. She was getting about 7 stitches to the inch on a US size 5 needle, or 375 millimeter, which is a lot. That's a lot of stitches for that size needle. I average around 22 stitches per inch with that size needle, whether it's fingering or DK. This particular yarn was sport weight, and I still didn't hit gauge. So I ended up knitting a much smaller size. I had to take her smallest size and then subtract more stitches from that. So it ended up being like even smaller than the smallest size, and that's why I messed up the sleeve, actually, because I was knitting the smallest size sleeve when it should have been even smaller. But I fixed it. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, that's it. That's the MiZZoni by Lindsay Degan. Moving along to my whips, I still have, so I am still working on the Awesomer Gossamer. I'm not going to show it. I didn't make any progress. My idea of knitting a row a day has not panned out. I just have not been that disciplined. I've been very distracted with a lot of stuff at my job, and usually summertime, like July and August, are real chill for me at my work, and June too. But this June was really, really a lot, very hectic, and very, like, a lot of times I come home and the thought of like trying to think through or make myself do anything is just not happening. Because I'm making myself do stuff during the day. So yeah, I'm not going to show it. I'll show it again when I make progress, but just know that it's still simmering in the background. I do want to finish it. It's pretty close to being done, I want to say. Well, maybe not, because I'm on the part, it's a Stephen West pattern, and it's the half moon shape, basically, and I'm in the part where, so it grows. It's well over 500 stitches where I am right now, so one row takes a pretty long time, but it is striped, so it's moving, like, it feels like it moves faster than it is, but I really just want to finish it because I want to be able to remove the yarn from my stash and move forward with it. Okay, doing another sweater. This was my latest cast on. Another sweater out of handspun that I made recently. So this is a weird looking piece, but here, let me show it to you this way, because I have split for the sleeves, and I'm working on one of the it's a cardigan. This is, sorry, I'm doing such a bad job right now. This is Hey Sailor by Andrea Mowry. I'm knitting it out of some handspun, which is this turquoise to peach colored to lime green colored yarn, and I'm using a white yarn, which is by Sandes Garn. It is their Sunday line in their white colorway, which is colorways number 1001. So yeah, that's what that is. I'm holding 2 strands together because this is I guess it's a lace weight. I thought it was fingering, but I think it's lace, actually. So yeah, I'm doing this pattern. I'm pretty close to making the neck trim. Let's see. Right? Because there's the armhole. Yeah, So it has like kind of this boat neck rib trim and then short sleeves. I think this is such a cute pattern, but now that I've knit most of it, a lot of it, the fabric's really thick. Like, it's not going to be as breezy as this sweater I'm wearing. So I don't know how wearable this sweater is going to be. I hope I can figure out how to wear it as a short sleeve sweater. It is supposed to be like a boxy cut, and it definitely will be. On me, this is pretty big, the whole piece. I'm making, this is another sweater where I didn't get gauge, and I'm making less stitches than even the smallest size. I figured out the repeat and just went down by, I think by one repeat. No, two repeats. I went down by 2 repeats, so that it would just fit me better, but it's still I think it's gonna come out pretty big. When I blocked the swatch that I made, I didn't get any growth, so hopefully that holds true and I don't get any growth, because if I get growth, I don't mind the length growing a bit, but the width, if the width grows, yikes, it's gonna be real big. But I mean, I do like the look of it, and I love the way the hand knit or the hand spun is working. The hand spun is by from Fiber by Bramble Ridge, and it's another 3-ply Fractal. I really love 3-ply in my spinning. It's my favorite. So of course I would prefer to spin, who wouldn't love to spin singles and be done? I just don't like knitting with singles. I've made 2-ply and knit with them. They work quite well. I don't necessarily I like to knit with those, but I prefer 3-ply. So I make myself spin 3-plies, even though it takes a third as much time to do a 3-ply. And I often land in the sport weight category in terms of the weight of the yarn with a 3-ply. I know with a 2-ply I can hit fingering weight no problem. So anyway, 3-ply Fractal from this Fiber from Bramble Ridge. I don't know if I have the tag in here. I think it's cormo. I can't remember exactly what the fiber was, but I think it's cormo, and the colorway was called Fish Bowl. I think I said Fish Pond last time, but it's Fish Bowl. So the idea is that it's goldfish swimming around in a bowl. Yeah, and that's about it. That's about all I can say. I expect to be done with this soon. I hope to have this done, should have this done by the next time I make an episode with you. Not cast on with me, a Knitter's Life episode. Yeah, sorry, this is like just super awkward to show, but I hope you're getting the idea. At least next time it should be. Yeah, I think it'll be done, because the sleeves are like that big. They're just a few inches, couple repeats. 1 repeat, maybe 2. All right. Yeah, no mods other than reducing the stitches on that. Okay, this next one, this is my own design. This is the Rylaring tee. I've made 6 versions of this. This is the 7th one that I've cast on. This is just a real simple rib stitch, choose your own rib stitch, crew neck or Henley style sweater. It is, I'm knitting it out of, not hand spun, out of some mill spun by Olann, 100% merino. So Olann's no longer in business, but you can still find her yarn around. This was called Meara, and it was vat dyed. This particular one has, I don't know that all the Mearas fat dyed. I think it is. But this one has like reds, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it has like red flecks, yellow flecks, blue flecks in it. So I think it was made by combining primary colors. Last time I mentioned that I thought that the knit was a little bit see-through, and I found that concerning. I went down a needle size, so this pattern is normally knit with a US size 5, 3.75. I went down to a 4, 3.5 millimeter, to mitigate some of this like sort of, you can see transparency. So after I filmed last time, I decided to block what I had, so you're going to be able to clearly see where I blocked. And there was a definite transformation of the knit. So now you can see that it's not nearly as see-through. The yarn really poofed, really bloomed and blossomed, which I found really interesting. It's so much softer. I think this just has quite a bit of spinning oil in it, but you can really see the difference from the blocked and unblocked. So of course when I finish this and block it, it'll all look like the top there. This is also choose your own sleeve length. You can easily, it's a set in sleeve pattern, and you can easily do a sleeveless version where you just do a rib trim on here, or you can do a short sleeve, make the sleeve any length you want. And the sleeve is pretty fitted. It's not tight, at least not on me, but you can make it however wide you need it for your arms. It's just a real easy, especially for the kind of job that I have. It's like professional looking, so it's great for like the work environment that I work in, and easy to wear, just a pull on long sleeve, clean looking sweater. So yeah, I've just been plowing away on this. I am getting close to having the length I need. I have been making my side seams about 17 inches, and I think I have about a foot right now, 12, maybe 13, so I'm pretty close. I chose a 1x1 stitch for this, for a clean, easy look. And yeah, I love it. I expect to get a lot of wear out of this in the fall. And I won't be doing any changing of needle sizes or anything. When I get to the bottom, I'll just do Italian sewn bind off, which has been my go-to bind off this past year, and I really, really love it. I love the way it looks. It's a little bit, to me, it's a little bit easier to do than the tubular bind off, and it gives you the same look, so I really like it. Yeah, I guess that's all I could say about this. Just a real nice, easy knit, easy to mindless. Been really great working on it with my crazy month of work stuff. Okay, does that bring us to spinning? Yeah. So because I finished an object, I'm probably gonna do a new cast on soon. Really excited about this new cast on. It's all prepped and ready. I even have the yarn caked and ready to go, so I may film that this weekend and release it next weekend. We'll see how I'm doing, or I may film it next weekend. We'll see. Okay, so spinning. Show you a little bit about what I've been working on. I've been spinning this farm yarn from Tammy White of Wing and a Prayer. I bought some indigo dyed cormo from her last fall, and or maybe it was early this winter, I can't remember. So I have 2 skeins done. I've got one on my spinning wheel. I'm working on the last bobbin. This is again another 3-ply, and the indigo dyed had color variations, which I think you're seeing quite well. Some, you know, from dark blue to, so it really looks like a washed pair of blue jeans. I think this is going to be really nice. I forgot to do the yardage on this skein. I do have the notes over there though, but this skein is about 200 yards, I think, and it's come out to a worsted weight. This farm yarn, so the farm fiber rather was a little compacted. I probably would have benefited from using hand carders to loosen it up, or at least to pre-draft, and I just didn't do that. And now that I'm almost done, like on this third skein, I've learned my lesson and have been doing that a little bit better. But I think all in I'll have about 600 yards of worsted weight. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't really have a plan. I did end up, I had some other indigo dyed American wool, like a real small amount, about 2 ounces, that I did. It was a deep dark navy, so I did use that, interspersed it throughout. Each skein has about 20 grams, maybe less, 15 grams of that wool in it. And I think the percentage is real low, like total, but less than 20%, or around 20%, 15 to 20% of the, but these feel really soft because cormo is so soft and nice to feel. So my other spinning thing, I'm going to show you a clip. I got a blending board because I was talking last week about some other farm fiber that I had purchased from Renninger, and I also purchased some cashmere farm fiber that it seemed to me in both cases in both cases it was scoured and carded, but it hadn't been made into roving or into rollags or a bat or anything. And I said combs in the last video, my last episode. I meant carders. So I have hand carders. I've had them for a long time. I've never used them actually. I bought them when I first learned how to spin, thinking that I would need them, and then found that I really didn't if I bought roving. Because roving is fiber that's already in a long sort of snake formation, and it's ready to go ahead and, you know, draft and put right on your spinning wheel. So the fiber I got from Renninger is not in that snake form, or in a bat form, or in a rollag form. Those are 3 forms that fiber usually comes in when it's ready to spin. Although there are plenty of people who love to do the carding, or will use a drum carder to take their fiber to that next step. So I purchased this farm fiber, not realizing that it wasn't already ready to go. Like Tammy's was ready to go. It was in a roving strip. So I ended up like trying to figure out, like think through, like how am I gonna, how should I do this? And I ended up buying a blending board from Brother, the drum carder company. They had a limited edition, so blending boards can be a couple $100s, but they had this limited edition for around $60 that I purchased on Etsy, from their Etsy shop. I don't know if they have any more. I don't know how long that special is going, but I got this entire kit. And yeah, watch the clip. I probably said a lot of this in the clip, so I may just lay the footage over for you to look at. Okay, I've now watched many videos about blending, how to use a blending board, and I understand the different paddles I have. One, the hooks are going away from the handle, and the other one, they're coming towards the handle. So I think coming towards is for patting it down, because these hooks also go away from, so they're hooking that way, away from me. Yeah, and then this is to pat down. So this is the fiber I have from Renninger. I don't know how much I have of each, but I've got this like silver color, and then a dark brown, and then a medium brown over here. And it's kind of in this state where it's been compacted and it's in short bits. There's some knots or lumps in there, clumps that need to get combed out, so the blending board should help me with that. I'm not really sure what I want to do in terms of how I want to put the colors together. Oh, sorry, that's the deep dark brown. This is the lighter brown. I think I'm gonna try to do a blended bat first, and then I might do some, and then it would be like a nice heather, and then I might do one or two, one of each color kind of thing. See how much it feels like I have a lot, and I'm going to be able to do this practice on the board at least half a dozen times. So, but let's see. I did mess around with it a bit with the Renninger fiber, and I found it a little challenging to get the hang of, but I did get the hang of it. I ended up making a blended, so I first tried to combo up, and I'll put clips, I'll put overlays here, the 3 different colors into a blending board, and then I made roll lags and pulled them out so they were in these long snake-like forms to draft onto my spinning wheel, and then I spun them. So I stopped after I had about 30 grams because again I like 3 ply, so 30 grams will give me about a 90 to 100 gram skein, and this is what I got. This was the spin I ended up getting. Nice heather that will actually end up barber pulling somewhat. I'm trying to get it so that it's not, there you go. So the fiber's occupying one of my bobbins. I don't have a lot of bobbins. I have enough to finish the blue because some of that blue fiber is occupying bobbins as well, but I need to resolve this before Tour de Fleece, or this needs to be my first spin of Tour de Fleece, because yeah, I need to clear my bobbins so I can spin other things. So I think what I'm gonna do is make more bats later today and this week of the solid colors, and then I'm going to ply together 3, this plus 2 of the other colors. I think the 2 browns is what I'm thinking, or maybe 2 dark browns with this. I think that will be nicer than having a yarn that's all this. I just want it to be, I want to tone down some of the gradation that I'm getting here. This didn't heather out as much as I had hoped. I think it would be more heather if I was willing to recard a couple times. But I just don't think that's something that I want to do. That felt like torture. I did that with some of this other fiber that I'm about to show you. And it kind of felt like torture. I was like, I'm just torturing myself now. So I'll show you that result in my next episode, like what happened, how that all shook out. But my plan this week is to get the rest of the Renninger fiber on the blending board, on the carding board, and make some bats that I can then choose to spin. This week, this is going to lead into I did do more hand carding or blending board stuff, but before I show you that, let me first show you this fiber that I got this week. I ordered 12 ounces of this merino roving. So this is actually, I can show you, wait, I think this one's open. I can show you what roving looks like in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. This is the colorway Voltage. It is a bright neon yellow. Hopefully you heard me say it's bright neon yellow. So this is normally the way fiber comes when, I shouldn't say normally, but this is frequently the way I buy fiber. And this can go right on the spinning wheel. I tend to split the roving into a few parts to get them down to smaller sections. That just helps me spin more thinly, because I do like to knit. My preference my preference is to knit with DK. Who doesn't love DK? But I find that I wear my fingering weight sweaters more. So again, it takes longer to make a 3-ply, takes longer to knit with fingering weight or sport weight. But that's what I prefer to wear. So if the final result is going to be something that I'm going to wear, then that's what I've got to do, right? So, and if it takes longer, that's fine. I have a lot of sweaters. I'm not freezing. I won't freeze to death in the winter. But yeah, anyway, I just bought these fun colors because I realized that a lot of my fiber that I've purchased in the past has been dark colors, kind of moody colors, and those aren't, I like to wear those fine. Like, I love to wear black, actually, and I like dark navy blue, dark blue colors and stuff. I do like those colors, but I generally want to wear bright, colorful clothes. So I know a neon yellow, anytime I've had a neon yellow skein in my stash, it gets knitted pretty quickly after I purchase it. So I thought it would just be fun to spin some bright neon yellow. And my plan when I bought the 3 pieces was I'm going to make one fingering weight skein, I'm going to make a DK weight skein, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with the 3rd skein. I might make more fingering weight, just so I have those 3 on hand. Or I may actually let it sit for a little while I think about it. But I do think one of these is going to end up being a fingering weight bright, bright, bright. However, I couldn't stop thinking about the blending board, and I couldn't stop thinking about this natural white that I had in my stash that I thought would look so pretty blended with, my camera's freaking out about this, blended with the bright yellow. So I went ahead, this is merino, 100% merino. It's from Pancake and Lulu, if I didn't already say that. I had some natural white cormo from Foxhill Farm in Massachusetts. They don't have an online presence. The only time I've ever been able to buy their wool has been at Rhinebeck. And the last Rhinebeck I went to 2 years ago, they weren't there. And the Rhinebeck before they were there, the Rhinebeck before that, they weren't there. So anyway, I bought 4 ounces of the cormo years ago, probably not 2 years ago, but 4 years ago. So sitting in my stash has been this natural white cormo, just waiting for a project. So I ended up taking all 4 ounces of it and one of these 4-ounce roving bags that I got from Pancake and Lulu, and I made a whole bunch of bats. So don't mind the brand logo of the bag, it's just I'm recycling a bag. So I made 10 of these little mini bats that I will now spin during, this will be one of my Tour de Fleece spins. You're seeing a bag of 5, so I have another bag of 5 over there. So it's roughly about 230 to 240 grams of fiber, which I think, now that I've waxed poetic about 3-ply, I'm actually going to make that a 2-ply because I want it to be fingering weight and I want to stretch the amount of fiber that I have there. So 230 grams of if I spin in a fingering weight should be enough to be a sweater's quantity, and then I can figure out what I want to do with that. But I thought, I don't know why I couldn't get it out of my mind. I just thought that putting the natural with the yellow would maybe make a really nice, more toned down color that I could see as a full sweater, whereas this to me is very much a pop of color in some other project. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my spinning journey. I will be, as I said, I'll be coming to you again soon with a cast on with me, and I will also be doing the next Sandes Life will actually be a couple weeks, about at least 3 weeks away. I have, next weekend is 4th of July weekend. And the weekend after that, my son will be visiting with his wife and my granddaughter. So hopefully I'll have some fun clips to share with you in the next Knitter's Life. So yeah, maybe some family clips or some fun Julie pictures. My granddaughter is 4.5 years. She's 4.5. So she's such a sweet, darling age, and I'm really excited to see them. So with that, I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you again real soon. Take care.